Masculinity is an amoral experience that's made up of certain virtues and characteristics. So when I say amoral, I mean it's neither good nor bad. When people talk about masculinity within our culture, they are almost always referring to masculinity or femininity as something that is good or bad. And
where do you think that came from?
I think it comes from people's individual experience of interacting with men or what they have perceived to be masculine. So if you're a man or a woman who was a child and your father was abusive and he represented masculinity to you,
your threat is all men.
Right. That's gotcha. Going to influence the way that you perceive men and masculinity unless you have done something to heal that wounding, right? And so for many of us, because many individuals, men and women alike, have been hurt and have been hurt by men or have been wounded by men not being around, the perception is that men and masculinity is bad, or men and masculinity is wrong, or men and masculinity are broken. Or we need less masculinity, or we need men to sit down, or, some masculinity is okay, but there's this whole branch of toxic masculinity, and we need to really crack down on any type of masculine behavior. And what that leaves people with is a kind of being disenfranchised with what masculinity is. And so you'll notice that when you talk to anybody, the majority of people don't really have a clue what it actually is. And like I said, it's an amoral, it's a non-good or bad amalgamation of characteristics and virtues. And oftentimes those characteristics and virtues, which can be seen in myth, which can be seen in culture, which can be seen in individuals, right? Which can be, we can just go down the list over and over and over again, are oftentimes associated with things like assertiveness and order and structure and leadership. And those are those are some of the pillars that often embody what it means to be masculine. The funny thing is that as soon as you start to lay out some of those characteristics and principles, people get all bristled, right? It's like, well, women can be assertive as well. And it's like, nobody said that they can't, right? But
masculinity, it's a masculinity trait, not a male trait.
Right.
Right?
Yes, that's right. And so, there's certain characteristics and principles that make up masculinity, and that has value, just like there's certain characteristics and traits that make up femininity, and that has value.